What's going on, guys? It's your boy Crit here, back with another YouTube video. And today is going to be a much different YouTube video, much more different than that first YouTube video that I dropped. That one was more of like a comedic pilot first episode, kind of intro to the YouTube channel, but this is going to be more serious and more kind of diving in topic that I want to throw out there for you guys. Tips for new and old players, okay? So, what I mean by that is, so I have 6 tips that I've put together, in my opinion, that I've learned just by crossing over from Xbox Neverwinter to PC, and I've learned so much within the last year, and I took a long break within that year, um, so this is kind of like what I've kind of put together, and this is from all my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and dive right into the video. This is one of my crafters. This was a character that I was originally going to try to main, but at the same time, I was the one that kind of determined to make a character, just focus on one. But I do have other characters that just have for crafting, right? So each time you log in, you know, if you already know this, then that's fine. But the people who don't know, so if you have a character that hits level 8, you unlock the cavern, or um, the workshop, right? So if you come in here and you first start out, do the workshop quests. There's other videos that people post online about the workshop, but I'm just gonna go and just make this brief because it's very common. But for people who don't know, you can make a little bit of gold by just crafting a few things, right? So I'm not gonna do my crafting stuff for this day. I'm just gonna show you how I'm doing it, right? So just basic stuff. You don't really need a whole lot, and you just craft a bunch of these, and I'll go sell them, and then I'll hop on my other character, and I'll do that with this crafter as well, and then I'll go to my main character and do my crafting on there as well. Okay. So um, and I'm not gonna dive into number 2 as much because that's pretty vague, and that's pretty everyone knows how to craft. That's just one thing I want to point out. Even if you're new, you can still have a couple characters and get you some gold. That's my whole point. Okay. So we're on tip number 3, and I think this is the most efficient one of all the tips here. Reach out to people and or your guild and show enthusiasm slash confidence. I feel like this is a very important topic because, listen, I know so many people who who just play the game and who don't know how to run dungeons. That's fine, but when it comes time for you to run the in-game content, you don't know what to do, and you don't have people to reach out to you. Neverwinter community is a small community, and I like to think everyone knows everyone here. That's not the case sometimes, but there are people who do know a lot of people. Okay, so finding a guild that you can run with and just show up and hang out, have a good time. Don't be too persistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't pressure everyone to be like, hey, run me through this, run me through this, run me through this. No, kind of show up, be like, hey, this is me, this is my level, this is what I have to show for, and just be open with everybody that you hang out with, and just say, don't be like 30k, don't be 30k item level and be like, hey, let's run a Tom run, right? No, you don't want to do that. Uh, you'll get laughed at, but by certain people. Not pointing fingers or anything, but there are people who will do that. If you're 30k item level and say, hey, let's go into Tom, just be open-minded and accept criticism, and just being able to have a, a community and a guild around you supporting you. That's always the best. Okay, and that's what I think you should do for tip number 3. So to tip number 4, and there's a lot of this is my opinion This is very opinion based. Number 4, don't spend money unless. And what I mean by that is, I had this similar conversation with a buddy of mine in a guild, and basically, no one can tell you how to spend your money, right? But this is a kind of one of the things you wanna, if you are going to spend money, do it smartly. Get advice from other people, not just one person, not that one person, because everyone's gonna tell you something different. There are gonna be a majority of people that tell you, certain things. Like for instance, 25% discount on 3 cool modes. 25% of people is gonna tell you that you what you want to buy, but I can promise you this: everyone's gonna tell you to buy VIP. That is the one thing people is gonna tell you, right? So always get an opinion before you just start credit carding your way into something, right? Like for instance, me, the reason why I asked because I wanted an opinion about something. Because if in the future wanted to do something down the road, I wanted an opinion. Because I just don't want to be like, oh, throw up my credit card at the computer, right? No, you don't want to do that. So it's good to just get an opinion about where everybody else stands on this, right? Okay. So tip number 5, and this is one of the things that I have come across a lot of problems with people. Um, and I mentioned this to everybody, like even older players. I'm like, hey, like you want to do this. So tip number 5: collect your daily keys, even when you're not running the dungeons or trials. Right. So every day, when you log on, after you've done your crafting, you find your rough AD, right? The first, and this is serious, I'm serious. You want to come into all your campaigns, right? And you want to get the keys that you can get, right? Is with a new trial out, most people are not running them, right? But here's the thing: you want to keep buying your keys, even when you're not running them. That way, when you do run them, you're stacked on them. Because here's a funny story, right? So I was running normal Voss with somebody, right? And we basically were like, we're gonna chunk run this. Like we were gonna get a lot runs in, and we ran 2 times. Like, oh, I didn't work. I don't have any more keys. I said, what? What do you have no keys? You've been waiting all this time and you don't have any keys? It was, yeah. Well, I didn't have any address on me. But you've been planning all this time, but you didn't have any keys on you. So that's just one of the things. This is a while ago. So just little things like that, you know. I'm not running Infernal Citadel 24/7, but you see me, I'm still crafting the keys for it, right? So it's just little things like that, and that's one of the problems that people face. Like they just don't have the currency. You know, it doesn't hurt you to go farm the currency. It don't take you long to go get the currencies for the Infernal Citadel or a Crown of Keldagon. You know, I'm sitting on 8. The trial dropped last week, and I've crafted every key for a week. So I'm stacked on them right now, and I'm sure other people are doing it too. But I mentioned it to people too. Like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because even though you're not running it, you can still buy the keys. You're not limited to getting the keys, right? So that's one of the main things that I wanted to put out there for new players or older players. But if you don't have the currency, then you can go farm it, then get it for the day. I make sure you always want to get your keys every day. So like for instance, like I didn't have enough for the Sharndar key, so I'm gonna have to go later and get the currency for the Sharndar key, right? Okay. So now this leads up to number 6, the last tip for this video, and I think this is very important, especially with Neverwinter and how this game is. Build your own build. How you want to play, okay? Get opinions on builds and build how you want to play, right? So, and the reason why I say that is because you do not want to play a character that you copied off somebody and not have fun with that build, right? So for the longest time last year, I played an AoE build. I ran Axstorm because no other barbarian was doing it. Was I losing damage? Yeah, but I still had a hell of a time doing it because Axstorm is a funny animation and I love it. So I ran Axstorm for a long time. I swapped out Roar, ran Axstorm for the AoE build. And, I didn't even run Bloodletter for the longest time. Mighty Leaped, the rotation was Mighty Leap, not so fast, and then Axstorm. And then, go straight into my Rage. So, because I built the character how I wanted to build it, not by somebody else telling me how to build it. Uh, and, you know, everyone's character is going to be different. But you don't want to build your character the same way as everybody else. Like, who do you see run Lich King or the Lich companion? AoE, I think he's pretty good. I tested my damage. My damage is pretty efficient for where I'm at right now. But yes, my damage could be better if I have a Band of Air or the Ribcage chest piece. But right now, I feel like I'm happy. I'm happy with where my stats are right now. This is uh no food, no buffs. So right now, I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling happy with where I'm at right now. Yes, I would love some better enchants, but that's all in good time. Okay, and I'm building my character how I want, and that goes for appearance too. Like I'm all white. I'm beautiful. Look at me. I'm pretty as fuck. All right. I'm a beautiful peacock, and sometimes when a peacock wants to fly, you just gotta let peacock fly. Okay, I'm pretty as fuck. I'll admit that too. I'll admit that. I'll tell everybody. If you come to me in a social area and you're asking me, hey, like, how should I look? Like, girl, you're bedazzling. Like, I'm cute, right? So, and that's all I had to say to that. And I'm gonna leave that video right here. So, appearance goes a long way. You want to look cool as fuck. You want to have the best weapon. You want to look fly coming into this game. Because if you can't make it, at least you can roleplay. You know what I'm saying? But everyone can make it in their own way. So I'm gonna leave that video right here at the end of this. Okay. Um, Now there's one thing that I do want to point out. I did upload my chair rigging video on stream. That had 600 views. Crazy. You guys blew that up. So if you guys want to see more content, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. I can keep the ball rolling. Okay. I'm gonna try to make sure I keep videos uploading to YouTube here, but this is kind of like a good opening the door video to the YouTube videos. Alright? So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you at the Spire.